TTN-HD production live, here with Sheldon Larry, the director of Leave It on the Floor. Can you tell me a little bit about the story?
Okay, so Leave It on the Floor is an original musical. It's got 11 songs. The music's written by Kim Burse, who's Beyonce's music director. The choreography is by Beyonce's choreographer, Frank Gatson Jr., who did Single Ladies and a lot of Rihanna songs and every one of Beyonce's videos. And the film takes place in Los Angeles in what we call ball culture, contemporary ball culture. This is an environment that was actually first memorialized by Jenny Livingston's documentary, Paris is Burning. So some of your viewers may actually know that. And it's a really fascinating sort of group. I mean, they're mostly African American, almost all runaway or throwaway kids between the ages of 18 to 22 who've been turfed out of their homes or have left because of repression. They're mostly gay, bi, transgendered, who've been living on the streets, as happens, and have kind of found each other and kind of have formed into houses. They're literally called houses. So in New York, there's a huge ball house scene. In Los Angeles, where we do it. And there are houses in, like Extravaganza, Balenciaga, Mizrahi, Eminence, Allure, House of Garçon. So they take a lot of fashion names. And there are two parts to the culture. There's literally, they invent a kind of surrogate family where they've lost their family, where kids kind of come together, take the surname of the house. Some of them actually live together. And there's a real kind of familial relationship that grows. These kids who don't have family have been sort of dented by these slightly sort of dysfunctional families, and they form these groups. And then every sort of 6 weeks or so, the houses, each one of the houses in turn sponsors a ball. And a ball is not quite what we think of as a ball, but it's a really extraordinary kind of happening that happens. Usually doesn't start till 2:30 or 3 in the morning, usually on a Saturday night, usually in a club or something like that. And whoever's sponsoring the ball, whichever house is sponsoring the ball, they set out these categories. And their categories, they're up to sort of 50 categories, and they create them. And the categories fall into different things. So there's voguing, which is this very kind of specific way of dancing. Madonna made it quite famous in her song Vogue. Madonna, after Paris is Burning, actually went into this community in New York and kind of extracted a lot of it. So it's voguing, they do runway categories, and so they do drag, but it's all different kinds of drag. For them, everybody's dressed in drag. So they'll do typical runway, European runway, or American runway, where they walk a sort of runway, a catwalk. They're flanked by the houses, and there's a panel of judges. And they're judged. They compete against different members in different houses, and they're judged. And the winners get sometimes a bit of money and get this huge bowling trophy.
Right, and the ball culture is still very alive today? Very
much, actually. It's interesting. It's very underground and sort of off the grid. In fact, I'd seen the documentary 20 years ago and had actually thought that there was a movie and a musical in it. But I was living in LA and didn't actually know even that there was a fairly active culture in LA. So there's actually a small one here in Toronto too, which is interesting. There's a House of Monroe here, I think named for Marilyn. And they're actually, we open on our premiere is the 14th of September, and we're having a sort of mini ball in which they're going to perform and walk and vogue and come in different categories. They also have sex sirens, so they're good ones to look at, sort of amazing guys. And they do a lot of realness categories. They'll do like thug realness, where they'll have to come dressed as street thugs, and who's the realest looking, or schoolboy realness, or even executive realness, where they walk with kind of three-piece suits and briefcases. So who's the realest looking one? But it's keep going. But it's an extraordinary sort of hub of creativity. I mean, the music is extraordinary. They DJ their own stuff. They create their own stuff. So you've got experts in music and choreography and fashion, design. A lot of, I mean, if you look at what Lady Gaga wears now, all of that comes totally out of the ball scene. You were seeing that stuff 15 years ago in the ball scene.
So your film is set in the ball scene, and then it follows the story of a young boy growing up?
Exactly. It's the story of a young boy who gets thrown out of his home for being gay and kind of stumbles like Alice down the rabbit hole and kind of just totally coincidentally confronts a ball in the middle of it. And he, having lost his family, had been chucked out of his family, it's his journey of self-awareness and acceptance where he gets sort of absorbed into one of these houses where he has this new family. So he loses it in the first frame of the movie, and he finds it by the end.
Oh, great. And You said the screening is on the 14th, and we can get tickets at the Tiff Center.
Yeah, yeah, Tiff. We play the 14th, which is our premiere, and the 15th as well, and then we play again the 18th. And we actually premiered at the Los Angeles Film Festival and have had extraordinary success. We've been having standing ovations at our screenings, so it's been pretty very exciting.
It sounds like such a fun film.
It's a party film. It really is. The music, I mean, Kim, who's Beyonce's lady, has done this extraordinary job. I mean, there are a couple of real track songs. We get, I think there's about 4 of the numbers actually get applause during the film, and they're sensational. Everybody's sort of wanting them for their playlist and stuff like that. So the music is phenomenal. The dancing is really unbelievable. I mean, just look at Beyonce.
So the title, Leave It on the Floor, is like leave it on the dance floor.
Right, exactly. Leave it on the dance floor. Leave your stress and all negative energy, leave it on the floor to get an outlet to put it out there. And
Wow, I look forward to seeing where we can check out the film.
We do. We have a website, which is www.ballmusical.com. And you'll find us there. And then we're also on Facebook, Leave It on the Floor Facebook, and we're on Twitter, Leave It on the Floor. So it's Leave It on the FLR.
Okay.
So check us out there too.
Okay.
And there are reviews and all kinds of things that they can find.
Great. Thank you so much, and best of luck at TIFF.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
I'm Katie Allman reporting for TTN-HD Production Live.